Caution, this game contains scenes of violence and gore, as well as depictions of criminal acts. These acts are strictly punished by law. Please do not attempt to imitate them. This game also contains themes of sexual violence and self-harm. This game is a work of fiction. Any relationship to real persons, groups, places, or crimes is coincidental. And sure enough, there was someone there. She was extremely petite, even more so than Nanami. She looked fairly timid, emulating that Moe gets bullied all the time archetype. If I had to choose, she was probably around mid-tier when it came to fuck you, Takumi. She's, Let's just say if Mia said no, I have a second option. For some reason, she was looking down at the floor, her eyes filled with tears. Wouldn't it be nice if the transfer student were some holy messenger sent here to protect me and slay the demon? Whoever Rimi was, I had no doubt she was dangerous. My life was being eroded, and I knew that for a fact. Unless things changed, I'd be a dead man walking. Suddenly, the transfer student turned her gaze toward me and whispered that. No way. Fuck it. Could she be here to help me? This transfer student must be a professional exorcist. She acts frail, but that's all it is, an act. She must be here to kill Rimi. The two of them should just kill each other. Takumi-kun, I'm here for blood. The demon girl is my target. Nah, fuck that, I gotta do it. Even though the transfer student's eyes were welling with tears, they were also filled with determination. Despite her timid appearance, I felt like I could trust her. There was no doubt that from an outsider's perspective, her words were blatantly nonsensical. I was the only person in the sea of confused people who wasn't perplexed by her first words. In fact, I was screaming for joy, internally, of course. I'm saved! No doubt, an exorcist organization sent this girl to dispose of Rimi. Fuck yeah! Kill that faggot! Taku, don't let her trick you! Rimi's panicked voice rang from behind me. It's not me she's after, it's you! Don't listen to her! Cease your deception, demon! This is the end for you! You're the demon here! Both of you, shut the fuck up. Right now, I didn't care who the real demon was, nor who my real ally was. I want to spend my life watching Bloodtoon and playing ESL every day, and I'm happy with that life, so I couldn't give less of a damn what you two do. In fact, you'd be doing me a favor if you just killed each other. Yeah, like the cliche where two warriors hit each other at the same time and both of them die. Following those words, I could feel a rise of unease, suspense spread throughout the room. A transfer student whose name I didn't know and a demon girl who had only been in this class since the day before yesterday. Each glaring daggers at each other from their own separate corners of the room, the tension between them burning like a fuse trailing toward a pack of TNT. The homeroom teacher and the rest of the students were on the edge of their seats, watching intently as the events unfolded. Fine. I'll do as Taku says. I have no objections. I'll put you to rest, assassin. And I'll send you back to hell, Miss Demon. And then they both sprang into action. Of course, something like that would never actually happen. The transfer student remained as sheepish as ever, uttering not so much as a peep. Rimi didn't say a word. In fact, she didn't give any indication that she was here at all. The scattered whispers grew into murmurs as the transfer student maintained her silence. So in order to comfort her, the teacher placed his hand on her shoulder. Oh, looks like she's a little nervous. Alright, I'll take you off the hot seat. This is Orihara Kozue, everyone. I hope you'll all welcome her as a new member of the class. Orihara, your desk is over there in the back. Go ahead and take a seat. The transfer student made her way back without saying a word, keeping her head low to the ground. Her seat was 4 rows behind mine. Should I pretend to watch her so I could catch a glimpse of the people behind me? Problem was, I'd draw a lot of unwanted attention to myself. I didn't want any DQNs trying to pick a fight, all don't go staring at her just because she's cute or some bullshit like that. I was at a loss for what to do. Should I look now or should I wait until class is over? My head still firmly pressed against my desk. I squeezed my fist tightly. Forget it. I was a coward. Just the thought of that. If I turned around, my eyes would meet with that girl's, sent shivers down my spine. Hey, you over there. Huh? Are you a baddie? If you are, then Kozapi's A-okay with killing you. The transfer student walked right by my seat. Taken aback, I glanced at her face. Our eyes met, only for her to immediately avert her gaze and continue walking. What was that voice? No doubt about it. Just another one of my delusions. I'd been feeling overwhelmed by them lately, almost as if reality and delusion were blending together. Still, lacking the courage to turn around, my body stiffened even further, squeezing inward in my seat. I tried to focus on staying completely still, desperately trying to avoid drawing Rimi's attention. As the final class ended, the stuffiness of the school day gave way to a restful afternoon. Alone, Orihara Kozue plodded her way out through the front gate. As she walked, her lazed motions and lowered head highlighted her frailty. With her knit eyebrows and muddled expression, it seemed as if she were holding back tears. Having just transferred schools, Kozue felt isolated from her peers. However, that was only natural for her. She would rarely, no, would never speak. Even when called on by a teacher to solve a problem or read from a book, she would just fidget in her seat, tears welling in her eyes. Not a single person in the school had ever heard her voice, neither student nor teacher. Kozue constructed walls between herself and them, and those made curious by the novelty of a transfer student were quick to drift away. Even then, 1 or 2 inquisitive classmates were still determined to speak with her, but she had no desire to open her heart to them. Still, she never felt that her situation was particularly urgent. Even though it was only one person, she did have a friend, an older girl who was not in her class. Given that Kozue was new in town, the girl was the only person in all of Tokyo that she could confide in. Other than her, she felt she did not need to make friends. She did not need to get along with her classmates. All she really wanted was to continue living her quiet life. On this evening in Shoto Park, one could hear the sounds of children playing alongside the pond's bank. A boy happened to pass right by Kozue on the trail alongside the water slide. In his hand, he held a petite mirror that displayed the face of its owner. 2 housewives, likely the mothers of the children at play, were chatting on a bench. Kozue could hear their voices clearly. There's a strange video floating around about a trifold mirror. It's awfully scary. Oh, is it? I haven't seen it, so I can't say I would know. What exactly is a trifold mirror? Here, it's one of these, with the 3 mirrors in a row that fold out. Oh yeah, I've seen mirrors like that before. So what were you saying about a creepy video? Kozue stopped dead in her tracks near the bench. Her forehead became sickeningly sweat with sweat. The women put their talk on pause, glancing questioningly at the odd girl before them. Suddenly becoming aware of herself, Kozue rushed away from the park. Mirrors. For Kozue, they were a source of great psychological trauma. Not wanting to recall the past, she frantically fought to keep the memories from flooding her mind. She told herself that she was overthinking it, and again continued walking toward the station. As she approached the front of Bunkamachi, her eyes were assailed by a light, a glaring, radiant light. Kozue shivered in fear. So many times in the past she had been assaulted like this, by reflections in the mirror. Her mind flowed with panic, unable to hold down her nightmarish past any longer. Was it a coincidence, or was she being targeted? She looked all around, praying it was just a misunderstanding. A short distance away, a white station wagon came to a stop. A man leaned out of the driver's window. In his hand was a mirror. He seemed to be adjusting its angle. The light struck Kozue's eyes again and again. Frightened, she raised her hands to block the light, dashing across the pedestrian scramble in order to escape. Her mind ran rampant with terror and disorder. She wanted to get home as quickly as possible. She did not want to be here. Tears streamed down her face. It has to be a coincidence. She desperately repeated these words to herself, wiping away the tears with her fingers. Just then, light assailed her eyes once again. Its glare dazzled her, violently piercing her gaze. The car from earlier had followed her. This time only the driver's arm protruded from the window, and in his hand, he still held that very same mirror. Snapping out of her trance, she put everything she had into running for the station. She bumped into numerous pedestrians while pushing through the crowd. The fear kept her moving, paying no mind to all the mockery and insults sent her way. Upon arrival at the station, she turned around, only to find the white car stopped at a traffic light at Scrambled Crossing. Kozue hid under the shadow of the Hachiko statue, huddling in pace with bated breath, struggling to comprehend all that happened. In her head held the same phrase, repeated like a broken record. It's just a coincidence. 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 That sailor suit's so hot it's on fire. Startled by the voice, she lifted her head. A man, seemingly a college student, stood by the Hachiko statue as if waiting for someone. He alone, his back turned towards Kozue, and spoke into the phone pressed against his ear. His voice echoed in her head. That sailor suit was so hot it was on fire? That sailor suit was so hot it was on fire? The man did not turn toward her. The phone remained against his ear. He seemed to be listening to whoever was speaking on the other end. However, not once did the man chime in or nod. He simply stood there, still as could be. Was he really on the phone? Yeah, my bride from the seashore is fantastic. The voice echoed once again. She could not understand how or why, but the man was speaking of things related to her painful past. She began to tremble. It frightened her to even so much as look at the man. She slowly crouched down at the spot, covering her ears. It's all a coincidence. This is all one big coincidence. She continued silently chanting this to herself. As she sat there, crouching in place, an hour passed. Many people had passed by, but none tried to speak to her. When she finally managed to timidly raise her head, she found that the man was long gone. I stood up in a relaxed manner. The aura surrounding me had changed. Even the people who had been ridiculing and provoking me were startled by my sudden movement. Heh, in the end, you guys are all talk. But I'm different. I'm the type of man who acts lie. And now, it's time to prove it to you. Without saying a single word, I made my way over to the transfer student's desk. She was sitting hunched over in her seat, face down. Noticing me approach, she looked up at me quizzically. For some reason, she already looked like she was about to cry. I then quickly grabbed both of her slender arms. I then began to pull her toward me. She tried to resist me with a feeble strength. This nigga. She alternated between looking at me and looking at her surroundings, her confusion written all over her face. It was clear she had nothing to do. I brought her close in and wrapped my arms around her quite forcefully. Hell no! Hell no. Sometimes I forget that Takumi is like in universe ugly. Can we just like put Logan Carson over him licking her ear? Huh? There was little indication that any people were present in the back alley of the center guy. The breeding girl, Orihara Kozue, could faintly be heard resounding through it. She cradled a gargantuan sword, or perhaps it was not a sword. Its unique shape brought its identity to question. It was more akin to a snowboard. The sharpness of the blade could not compare to one, however. Its surface was stiff and exuded a brutish aura. Wielded against another person, it could slice through them with ease, all while grinding every bone in their body to dust. Maroon blood trickled down the blade, clinging to its edges. A young man in front of Kozue attempted to crawl away. Despite the puddles of filthy water, he tried desperately to get even a little bit further away from her. Kozue's face held a brilliant grin as she stared at the man. There was no trace of her usual cowering, timid personality. She was enjoying herself. Her cheeks were flushed, perhaps from excitement. The sword in her hand had been used on 2 others before the man, and it had been a remorseless bloodbath. Kozupe's not going to kill you, but baddies need to be punished. The faces of the vulgar young men were bloodied and swollen. Only moments ago, they had been tormenting Kozue's classmate, Nishijo Takumi. She had heard the voices of their hearts by chance. Multiple boorish voices had wrenched their way into her head as she was passing by. Piece of shit, don't look down on me, you Esper freak. Die, I'll beat the shit out of you, you fucking little shit. Pathetic cunt, I'll whoop your ass. Fucking die, Esper, shut your goddamn mouth. Fuck, I'm so pissed off I'm gonna end you. That stupid bitch gave me the cold shoulder. This is revenge, fucker. Shut the hell up. Rotten hell, fucking die already, you fake fucking Esper. The hell does it take to kill you? Fuck, just die! This shit's just what I was told to do. This shit, get the money. I'll make a shit ton of money. I fuck him up, I get the money. I want money. I beat him to utter shit. I'll fucking kill you. Kid, I'm gonna slaughter you, then tear you to pieces. Ah ha ha ha! Christ, it feels good beating people to a pulp. There's nothing fucking better, I swear. It's like I'm fucking high or something. For real, this is fucking fantastic. I don't give a shit about the world. There's nobody who can fucking stop me. The police won't do shit. My old boss won't do shit. My fucking mom won't do shit. Either nobody but me is on the fucking top. There ain't nobody better than me. I'm at the top of the fucking world, bitch. Stay still so I can kick the shit out of you. Holy shit, I'm awesome. I want to kill them. From the cluster of the voices formed by Fapura's hearts, a single voice of rage and hatred rose above. Recognizing the heart's outcry as Takumi's, Kozue had come running to where he was. And then she attacked the bad man. One more person, and justice would be dealt. The threat to Nishijo Takumi and herself would be eliminated. For that reason, Kozue refused to let the young man crawl away. There would be no escape. I take it back, I'm sorry, I'll die. I'm gonna die, you fucking kill me. I'll die, I don't wanna die, it's not fair, don't kill me, don't kill me, I'm gonna fucking die, my guts will spill everywhere, I don't wanna die, I wanna keep living, I wanna live a good life, I wanna do all this stuff I always wanted to do. The young man's heart frantically pleaded for mercy. Kozue's wide smile did not fade. She gripped him by the back of the head, grabbing a fistful of hair, and forced him upright. She accomplished this despite the immense disparity in their physical appearances. Lacking the willpower to resist, tears welled up in his eyes as he begged for mercy from the innocent little girl. Kozue's answer was a swift denial, but it was not one she voiced aloud. She simply mouthed the word one letter at a time with her small mouth. Oh. Lifting it above her hair, the gargantuan sword roared as it approached the man. With one blow, his jaw was pulverized. His shrieks reverberated into the alley. The man was blown away and then collapsed in a heap. Blood would have been splattered all over Kozue's clothes, but she used her blade to shield herself, allowing her to avoid such an event entirely. With a nod of satisfaction, Kozue erased her sword, then glimpsed at Nishijo Takumi, who was collapsed in a corner of the alleyway. Breathing loudly, her heart murmured, "Kozupi wanted to kill them for you, but Kozupi's gonna stop here." And Kozupi says that if you think about me in that way again, I will beat the shit out of you, nigga. Don't ever try to lick my earlobe like that. That car again. Before Shinsen Station, Orihara Kozue stood petrified. Over the past several days, she had been going back home from here rather than Shibuya Station, all because that white car had been following her. And today the white car appeared once more. As if waiting for someone, it was parked in front of the station. Stricken by this, Kozue froze dead in her tracks. The passenger side window slowly began to roll down, before stopping nearly halfway. Suddenly, the hand out of the passenger emerged from the opening. Within their palm, a handheld mirror was clutched tightly. Through her eyes, it felt almost as if they were taunting her, goading her. The raw terror alone made her feel as if she may stop breathing at any moment. Refusing to wait a moment longer, Kozue whipped around and took off running. Focused entirely on her attempt to get away, she had no capacity to maintain proper footing, falling and scraping her knees many times as she sprinted. Upon reaching Miyashita Park, she took refuge on a bench and trembled well into the night. However, she could not afford to embrace her knees forever. Despite her fears, Kozue decided it was finally time to make her way back to Shibuya Station. And that damn white car is still there. But when she reached it, it was parked there too. The exact same car from before. Though she had no destination in mind, she bolted once again. Tears poured down her cheeks with no end. Doubt was all that filled her mind. Who could possibly be in that white car? What could they possibly hope to gain by harassing her? When she came to her senses, she realized that she had found her way back to Shinsen Station. Given that the car had been at this very station earlier, the last thing she wanted to do was return to it. Taking her chances, she entered an unfamiliar narrow alley. Due to the lack of streetlights, the area was incredibly dim, something that only served to magnify the already intense dread in Kozue's heart. But at this point, Kozue was already drained. She did not have the energy to continue running. Wiping away her tears, she kept up her desperate struggle, stumbling every other step of the way. And right when she thought she was about to hit the main road, the white car passed in front of her. Kozue was shocked by its sudden appearance. It then traveled approximately 50 meters away from Kozue before stopping at the shoulder of the road. Its hazard lights flickered to life. She lost all the willpower to run. No matter where she ran, she would always find her, as if it were reading her mind. The car would always anticipate where she would be. Sinking to the ground, she cradled her head in her arms. Within her heart, she cried out for salvation, but in the end, not a soul came to her rescue. As Kozue began to stagger away in a fit of tears, the vehicle remained parked, and to the very end, whoever was inside made no attempt to show themselves. Hey, Neidhart-kun, I've been waiting for you because there's another new gen. What are you talking about? New gen, dude. What the fuck do you think I'm on about? How exactly did we go from new gen to new gen? More importantly, there's the seventh case. The seventh case! It happened again, another new gen. How long was this damn thing gonna go on for? Was I next? Would I be the victim of the eighth case? The ninth? Anxiety aside, Grim was pretty much the new gen news guy at this point. He'd been keeping me in the loop about basically everything. Even now, he was going out of his way to link a bunch of blog posts and news articles about it. Seemed like he really wanted me to take a look. Biting my lip, I reluctantly clicked the first link. DQN puzzle. At the end of the news clip, photographs of the three victims were shown. I had seen those faces before. It's them. The guys who beat me up yesterday. I'd given them my wallet, but they'd kicked my ass anyway. I'd then fallen unconscious, and when I woke up, Kozupi was beside me. The three of them had been collapsed on the ground, covered in blood. I took my wallet out from my pocket and stared at it intently. When I came to, Kozupi had been carrying it, and she'd given it back to me soon after. Could the person who killed those three be? No, definitely not. The last time I'd seen them, they had beaten to a pulp and covered in blood. They hadn't been cut in half or anything. Which would mean they'd been killed after Kozupi and I had left. It had to have been Shogun. That wrinkly asshole was trying to provoke me. Damn it. He was really committed to driving me insane. Just how far was he willing to go? I wanted to vomit. I clutched my stomach as it churned in pain. Was I next? Would I be next to die? It was also possible that Shogun could show up in person again. He seemed to be playing with me like it was some kind of game after all. Maybe he'd feel like sending me on another quest soon. Just the thought alone terrified me. I tried to grasp my D-sword, but even that was to protect myself from him. Without that sword, how could I ever hope to escape his evil clutches? It felt like he was holding a knife straight to my throat, like he was saying, I can kill you whenever I please. Please, just let me go. What had I done to deserve this? I couldn't take it anymore. Someone save me, please. Remy, where'd you go? Weren't you supposed to protect me? No, I couldn't rely on Remy anymore. I had even gone to school today just to see her, but she hadn't been there. Almost like she was never there to begin with. So I had to find someone else. Someone who I could rely on to protect me. And the first person that came to mind was... Lately, Shibuya's been getting a lot more dangerous. Like yesterday, some cocky roaches tried to get me, so Kozupi crash bang beat them up. Kozupi. She was as far removed from normal as could be, and also a pretty big idiot. Because of that, something told me that if I had to depend on her, she might actually hear me out. Upon entering the classroom, I looked towards Remy's seat. There was no one there. Next, I looked over at Kozupi's desk. She was in her seat, face down and huddled up. Morning, Takumi-san! Morning, Kozupi. I didn't make eye contact, but I greeted her with my inner voice. The female DQNs were watching me, smirking. Cunts. It was no different from yesterday. They'd all already labeled me as that otaku freak who said he was sidekick and made an ass of himself on TV. And that label wasn't going away anytime soon. The male DQNs didn't seem to have arrived yet. It was pretty common for them to skip first period, and that was fine by me. Misumi-kun nearly tossed a glance in my direction, not caring enough to greet me. All ties between us were pretty much gone at this point. Then again, it was strange that he and I had ever been friends at all. Taking a seat, I pretended to fall asleep, and then I called out with my mind. Kozapi, can you hear me? Yes, sir! What is it? I need your help. If I don't get help fast, someone is going to kill me. Someone's gonna kill you? Yeah, that's why I want you to protect me. You can use your D-sword. Hmm. But first, but first, Takumi-san, you don't think Kozabi is dumb, do you? Do you? Oof, exposed. Oof, Kozabi knew it! Takumi-san, you're such a mean meaty head. Besides, Kozabi doesn't just kabang anybody up, you know. And another thing, there's a certain way Kozabi hurts all the baddies who try to hurt her. She tears them to itty bitty pieces. Okay, does everyone around me think I'm stupid? What is this? I'm just a poor, innocent Hotaku who hadn't done anything wrong. To be fair, Takumi is ashamed when he has like the more sexual and like rapey delusions. So it could be seen as him just having intrusive thoughts that he doesn't actually like. All I want is to shut myself inside my base and spend the rest of my life in there. I swear to God, it's like everything around me is screwing with me. Ah, what the hell did I do to deserve this? I've done nothing wrong. I'm a good person, no. DQNs, they're the bad ones. Yeah, true. And Shogun, too. Please, Kozapi, I need your help. Protect me from them. You even said it yourself the other day. Those cockroaches that say all those horrible things to me. They're even more worthless than I am. Kozabi probably bobbily said that. But the problem is Kozabi doesn't know Mr. Shogun. I know him all too well. He's this kid that looks like an old man, and he rides around in a wheelchair, and one day he's going to show up out of the blue and kill me right then and there. He's the one who stole Nanami away. Wowie zowie, that really stinks a lot, Takumi-san. What? Is that really all you have to say? Kozabi wants to kill some baddies, but Senishan told me that killing peoples is a big no-no. Shit. Even Kozapi was on better terms than Senna than I was. With my head still down to my desk, I gritted my teeth and clenched my fists. What do I do? There's no one I can turn to except Kozapi. Senna kind of scares me, and if she didn't, I doubt she had any interest in helping the likes of me. The only one I could rely on was Kozapi. The school bell rang, bringing the day to a close and me straight out of the classroom. Just like always, the class's token DQNs are making fun of me for the whole Esper debacle. Just today alone, they'd already come after me at least 5 separate times. Seriously, didn't they have anything better to do? Could bullies like them only get their kicks from picking on others? The hell was wrong with normies? And people thought they were actually human? Don't make me laugh. Shutting myself in my base to play ESO, immersing myself in dazzling delusions with Sedaton. That's what made me happy. Very happy. God, I was so pissed off. So pissed off, in fact, I'd been doing nothing but cursing out those DQN fucks inside my head the entire way home. Takumi-san! I felt Kozabi poke my shoulder from behind a few times. Come on! Let's walk home together! Do you really have any interest in protecting me? Oh, right on, Takumi-san! Kozabi's got a present for you! A present? For me? Look at me. I think I just raised a flag. Oh, B? What's a flag? Oh, it's nothing. Well, any whoosies, right now, Kozabi and Takumi-san should go somewhere nice and relaxing right now. Somewhere nice and relaxing? Oh, God. I knew it. There are no people around, so the description is pretty spot on. Then again, it's just a staircase, so that only makes sense. So why is it that I can't seem to calm down? Maybe it's because of that employee downstairs. It feels like he's been keeping a close eye on me. Or maybe it's because Kozupi and I are speaking telepathically. We aren't making any noise, from an outsider's point of view, we probably just look like a bunch of freaks making faces at each other in total silence. Okay, is Kozupi really a freak? I mean, when you stare at people while staying completely silent, what do you expect? But then, when Kozupi and Takumi-san talk like this, nobody can hear their secret conversations. What? These are supposed to be secret? Nope. The sheer amount of energy you really have does tire me out. Some things never change, though. Kozupi's really sorry. Kozupi didn't know Kozupi was tiring Takumi-san out. Kozupi will do her best to not tire Takumi-san out too much, too. Whatever, can we just get back to what you were saying? Didn't you say something about a present? Oh, yeah! So you see, when Kozupi makes a new friend, she always gives them a present as a present. As she spoke, Kozupi started rummaging around in her bag. Back when Kozupi met Senna-san, Senna-san got one too. Where is it? Oh, Kozupi knows. Takumi-san, do you want to give Mr. Candy a little licky lick? She offered me a piece of candy. What the hell did she actually keep in her bag? For now, though, I just took the candy, unwrapped it, and popped it in my mouth. It was lemon flavor. The tangy flavor spread throughout my mouth. Pretty refreshing, honestly. Was that the present, Kozupi? No, that's the Mr. Candy that Kozupi's always slurping on all the times. And you just expected me to know that? Okay, here's Takumi-san's present for realsies now. She happily pulled out a number of fanciful accessories from her bag, each one made up of colorful beads. The hell are those? These are Kozupi's clickety-clackities. There's bracelets, celery phone straps, rings, hairpins, charms, and much, much more! Did you make all of these by hand? Well, no. Kozupi tried to make them herself, but when she did, they broke a lot and got even more extra clickety. So Mommy made them all for Kozupi. Kozupi loves beads a super duper whole lot. Kozupi loves them so much, she calls them clickety-clackities to show it. Kozupi suddenly grabbed my hand. The sheer warmth and softness of it made my heart skip a beat. Opio, Takumi-san, your heart just jumped up. Only because it was a surprise attack. It was a surprise lolly attack. When Takumi-san's heart goes jump, Kozupi starts to jump up and down too. Ba-thump, ba-thump. With a smile still on her face, Kozupi handed me something out of beads. It was probably a cell phone strap if I had to guess. This one's for you, Takumi-san. I don't want it. Oh no, is Kozumi imposing? Is she? It's just Kozumi gives these to all her friends. Kozumi wants everyone to get a clickety-clackety. With a turn that would give anyone whiplash, Kozumi burst into tears. Oh, why does she have to be quick to cry all the time? I mean, isn't it something this girl would wear? I feel weird putting on. Oh, Pio, Kozumi gets it now, so Kozumi's causing problems for Takumi-san by giving Takumi-san a present. Problems. Even though Takumi-san's the second ever person Kozumi's ever given a clickety-clackety to. Big sniffle. The presents could be Kozumi made to take back the cell phone strap, but I quickly pulled my hand back and jammed it into my jacket pocket. Takumi-san? I changed my mind. I'll take it. But why? Why? She said that she gives a present to all her friends, yet I'm only the second person to give one. In other words, Kozumi must not have any friends, so the first one she gave to was Senna. No doubt. Shut up. Was Senna, no doubt about it. Huh, I kind of feel... Takumi-san feels sorry for Kozubi, huh? Shit, I forgot Kozubi can read all my thoughts. But honestly, as much as I feel sorry for you, I think we're actually the same in some ways. Yeah! Hey, Kozubi was thinking that the same thing about Takumi-san. The first time Kozubi went to school, when she saw Takumi-san, she was like, he looks like he's in a lot of pain. And since Kozubi was also in pain a lot, she thought, wow, Kozubi and him are the same, and felt a whole lot better. The same, huh? It reminds me of what Senna told me about Kozubi's life before she transferred. She and I really are alike. We're both closed off to the world. We're both at the mercy of malicious entities surrounding us. We both avoid crowds. We both avoid human contact. We're both afraid of people. And we both like hiding away in some dimly lit staircase, making ourselves unnoticeable. Kozubi just wants to live a normal life. As she played with the clickety-clackety in her hand, Kozubi had a faraway look in her eyes. Kozubi wants to make friends, then play together, eat lunch together, study together, work really hard together for cultural festivals, talk about love together. A normal life with a lot of that. That would be more than enough for Kozubi. Kozubi never ever wished for anything special. Suddenly, the expression on Kozubi's face disappeared, and she tore apart the clickety-clackety she'd been playing with. The beads went everywhere, rolling and tumbling down the stairs. I've been thinking the same thing. Why am I the only one that has to suffer like this? I was myself, what did I do to deserve this? Kozubi did a thing to deserve it. You know, a bad thing. Kozubi stuck out her tongue, and her smile came back. A bad thing? Do you mean the thing where you cut off your classmates' arms, or? It's when Kozubi wished to kill. Kozubi wished that she could really, really kill everyone that ever bullied her. You really are pretty twisted. But wishing for a bad thing isn't as bad in the end itself, right? Does Takumi-san think that wishing for bad things is bad? Because it's bad, wishing for bad is bad? Bad, but it's super duper bad, huh? Well, back on topic. Negative emotions are something that should not be repudiated. That's what that strange old person with the board said. And because Kozubi wished for a bad thing, Kozubi's sword became a power for Kozubi. And Kozubi's D-sword protects her now. So, since Kozubi has it, Kozubi doesn't need to be normal or anything anymore. Are you sure? Have you really given up trying to live a normal life? Are you sure that's what you want and that you won't regret it? Kozubi doesn't like things that are annoying. And the world's filled only with baddies too, anyway. What about Senna? Do you think she's a bad person too? Senna-san is Kozubi's friend. She's not a bad person. The voice of Kozubi's heart sounded incredibly happy. Neither is Takumi-san. You're all clickety-clackety friends too. If we could all think like Kozubi does, life would probably be a whole lot easier. Or is the reason Kozubi thinks this way because she was broken at some point in the past? That's not really something I can answer. Well, I might complain all the time about the world around me, inside my head, that is. At the end of the day, all I want is for someone to help me. That's all I ask. While I may thought we were similar, I guess Kozubi and I really are different. No, Kozubi and Takumi-san are the same. For some reason, I didn't understand. Kozubi seemed very convinced of that, then she vigorously stood up. Alrighty, time for us to go home. As soon as that left her mouth, Kozubi raced down the stairs. And then in a display that was very in character for her, she slipped and fell out of the very last step. The inside of the Roft was packed as ever. With a slight limp, Kozapi made her way through the building. There were tears in her eyes. Are you okay? Don't worry, Kozapi's used to falling, Rover. Kozapi flashed a brief smile, but that smile quickly faded. Kozapi stopped dead in her tracks, and her gaze shot right behind me. When I glanced over my shoulder to see what she was looking at, I saw a bunch of mirrors for sale. Everything from hand mirrors to full-on dressers were on display. With a stiff expression, Kozapi looked away from the mirrors, then started to quickly walk away. See you tomorrow, Takami-san. The voice of her heart held not even a trace of the energy from before. I ran after Kozapi, but I had taken too long to do so. Now I couldn't see her anywhere. I hadn't said anything to her about wanting us to leave together, but she was the only person I had left. Losing her started to make me freak out. I could feel the anxiety slowly welling up. Being all by myself, especially in the center of Shibuya, I really, really didn't like it. The mere sight of the human stampedes moving along caused sweat to bead all over me. So knowing I couldn't take it, I gave up on trying to find Kozapi and decided to hurry back to my base. What was that? I'd heard something, the loud clicking of a camera on a shutter. I shifted my gaze toward the sound, but I couldn't see anyone with a camera. That was when I realized the sound hadn't been an actual camera, but a cell phone. That explained why the sound had been so clear. And yet, despite that realization, I still couldn't locate anyone that was pointing a cell phone at me. Was I just too on edge? No, that couldn't be it. My social suicide would have been incredibly well known throughout Japan, especially considering how much people freaked out over espers. So it wouldn't have been all that strange if there were people who found it amusing to snap random photos of me. The streets were overflowing with people. Well, at least none of them were looking at me. Don't look at me. Biting my lip, I continued dragging myself forward. I hung my head as low as possible as to not be recognized. There it was again. Someone had taken a photo of me again, and this time I knew for a fact I felt their gaze on me. And it wasn't the usual God's gaze, but a gaze harboring nothing but pure malice. I looked around, and yet after all that, there was still no one there. Who the hell are you? Sneaking photos like a goddamn peeping Tom? I'll sue the fuck out of you for violating the rights to my likeness. But it wasn't like they were ever going to hear me cursing them out from inside my head, and I very much didn't have the courage to say it out loud. Even if I did, it'd only bring even more attention to me. I went back to walking. This time I doubled my speed, weaving as best as I could between the herds of pedestrians clogging the road. The sounds only got worse. The shutters continued to chase me. Then I thought I heard someone giggle. I looked around again. There were a number of people holding their cell phones at eye level. A middle-aged businesswoman, a woman in a suit, a high school boy, some DQing girl, a pretty varied selection. As I moved, they would move their phones in an attempt to follow me. Don't look at me. Don't take pictures of me. I couldn't take it anymore, so I took off running in another direction, but it didn't matter how long I ran. It didn't matter how far I ran. It didn't matter how many people threaded the needle through. The sound always found me. The gaze always caught up to me. Every time I thought I got away from the noise, it always started up once again. In my head, it was like my enemies were multiplying without end. Eventually, I ran into a red light, forcing me to stop. Planting my head on my knees, I tried as best as I could to catch my breath, all while the noise of the shutters persisted. My gaze trained downward, I clenched my fist as I tried to stomach the humiliation. It was all I could really do at this point. Suddenly, a thought occurred to me. Was this noise really being produced by such a large, unknown number of people? Wouldn't they all be taking way too many photos? Sure, I was basically a celebrity now, but I wasn't famous. I was infamous. Photos of me wouldn't be worth jack shit. I'd say most people considered me to be a walking piece of trash at this point, so I couldn't get over how strange it was that the world had picked today of all days to start taking pictures of me. They weren't even hiding it either. Was it Shogun? Was he orchestrating this attack on me right now? Ugh. Just leave me alone already. What the hell have I ever done to you? What the fuck is your problem? I want to kill him. After breaking me completely while he watched from the shadows, he was finally going to kill me once and for all. The malicious harassment wouldn't be enough. I would be able to be the next Nugent case, murdered in some horrible, grotesque fashion. Therefore, I have to kill him before he kills me. I grabbed my head with both hands. I had a pounding headache. Yet despite it all, I still didn't feel Gao's gaze. Despite the countless photos being taken via cell phone, Shogun's typical gaze wasn't following me at all. I want to kill him. Suddenly, everything went quiet. The rapid snapping of camera shutters had completely disappeared. Surprised, I started to look up, only to hear a sound I had heard many times before. Right behind me, within the silence, Suzuka, came a quiet, super creak noise that I would have never heard otherwise. I sensed a presence. Sugar Lights was right behind me. But who? Who is she? She's an Uma Musume. Ignoring the red light entirely, I leapt onto the crosswalk. My ears were assailed by a chorus of horns, and one vehicle was on the brink of running me over before just barely managing to screech to a halt. But I couldn't look back now. I had to keep running as hard as I possibly could. Even though I'd made it back to my base, I was still haunted by the sound of those shutters. Moving to a nearby residential area hadn't helped either, even though it had been entirely deserted. I could still hear the endless clicking and clacking of the shutters. It was as if they'd been seared into my very eardrums. Every person I passed would take out their phone just to get a shot at me. Not one of them said, "Oh wow, please let me shake your hand," or "Ew," as I moved them. No one even so much as grinned at me. Nothing but expressionless faces taking pictures with their cell phones. So I just continued to walk past them, pretending like they weren't even there. Clearly something strange was going on. I didn't even sense a hint of malice nor ill will from them. They felt entirely mechanical. Yeah, kind of like Nier Automata, except in this case, there was someone entirely controlling them. I sat in the corner of my room, legs gripped tightly against my chest as I curled into a ball. All I could do was continue to grind my teeth out of sheer frustration. It was all him. It was all Shogun's doing. While en route to my base, I heard it. The sound of a creaking wheelchair. I'd heard it only once, and I hadn't turned around to check. But there was still no doubt in my mind. My hands just wouldn't stop trembling. Glancing at the time, I realized it was already 11 p.m. I'd spent 5 hours scared shitless. Letting out a deep sigh, I lashed out at him inside my head. I hope you die. I hope you die. I hope you die. The worst part about Shogun was that he didn't kill you quickly. He would gently wrap a silk cord around your neck, and over time he would slowly tighten that cord, before eventually you would suffocate. And because of that, because I knew exactly how he was, anxiety flared up within me, and I began to dread even going outside. Help me, Kozupi. I can't fight Shogun on my own. I don't even have my own D-sword. There's nothing I can do. Kozupi, why won't you help me? I had to think. Somehow I had to get away for Kozupi to protect me. She could read my mind, so I definitely couldn't lie to her. Then what about money? Would she help me if I offered her compensation? That noise just now. With a horrible gulp, I squeezed myself into an tighter ball and strained my ears for the slightest sound. I just hallucinated it. Yeah, that was the most obvious answer. I hadn't hallucinated it. It was the sound of a wheelchair. I could hear it coming from outside. I immediately held my breath and strained my ears even harder, trying desperately to hear any noise coming through the wall. There it was. He was outside. Wait, maybe I was just imagining it. Maybe I was just imagining him slowly moving closer and closer to me. I wasn't just imagining it. He was wheeling around the outside of the container. I'd heard his voice. It was Shogun's laugh. He was laughing. In the dead of night, he was sitting outside my container in his creaky little wheelchair, laughing. But it didn't end there. The very next second, I heard the sound of a cell phone's camera shutter. Had Shogun taken a picture? What had he taken a picture of? The container? No. It wasn't just Shogun. There were other people there. Not just 2 or 3. It felt like there was at least 10. They were all taking pictures with their phones in perfect unison. The sound of the shutters echoed off the walls and coiled into my ears. This wasn't possible. A delusion like this was just a delusion. If I peeked outside, surely nobody would be there. It was all some simple hallucination. Sure, the container walls were pretty thin, but there was no way I should have been able to hear the shutters or laughter or the wheelchair. And definitely not this clearly. I didn't have the courage to go outside and check for myself. Fear overwhelming me, I burst into tears and wrapped a blanket around my head in an attempt to cover my ears. Don't come in. 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 Do not come in. Don't 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 come in. How much time had passed? It had only been about 10 minutes, but it felt more like 10 hours. I threw off the blanket and got up as quietly as I could. I listened very carefully. I didn't hear anything outside. All I could hear was the sound of my PC. So it really had just been a hallucination. Yeah, it just had to have been. Just to be sure, though, I should check outside. There was no way anyone else was out there, but still. Even if someone had been out there, they surely wouldn't be there anymore. I positioned myself by the door. There was a padlock on the inside, keeping the door locked. Retrieving the key, I stuck it inside the padlock. But I didn't have it in me to turn the key that easily. My heart was pounding out of my chest, and my nerves refused to calm down. I was terrified. The mere thought of opening my door absolutely terrified me. This could have all been some total bait. Someone outside now could be biding their time as they waited with bated breath for the opportune moment to strike. I wanted to tell myself that something like that would never happen to me, but it was pointless to even try. I'd been deceived over and over again, and I couldn't take it anymore. I was so tired. Why couldn't I just be left alone? Why did I have to endure these horrible, absurd trials? They were just way too much for me. Fuck. 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 I slammed my fist into a door with a loud bang. The noise resounded incredibly loudly, and my hand immediately hurt like hell. Not a sound came from outside. There were no signs of anyone being out there. There was nobody there. Of course there was nobody there. You'd have to be stupid to think there was somebody there. I bit my lip so hard, blood slowly began oozing out. And with that, I somehow found the strength to remove the padlock, and then I gently opened the door. In an attempt to investigate, I peeked my head out from my base. There was nobody there. It was still as death. Nothing moved. There was no sign of Shogun's creaky wheelchair, nor his laugh, nor the cell phone shutters. Nothing. It is Is anyone there? I waited for a moment, but there was still no response. But of course there wasn't. There was nobody there, so of course nobody would have replied to me. Nervous as could be, I began to check even further outside, shifting my gaze toward any shadowy areas I could see. Yeah, no one was there. Everything I'd heard, I'd hallucinated. All the repeated extreme stress that had caused me to start breaking down. Yeah, that made perfect sense. I just gotten scared and ended up losing it. God, look at me tearing up. What an idiot. I can't believe how stupid I am. The sheer stress I was feeling left me trembling as I laughed at my own pathetic state. Mine. Look at this dumbass. It was laughable, really. I couldn't help but laugh. Man, I was so worn out. Going back into my room, I let my Saraton figure soothe my soul. Next, I sat down on my PC and logged into Frepada. That was where I checked for new updates in the Bloodtoon community. I could also see if my friends posted any new status updates. A sense of dread was building within me. Something wasn't right. The list of my friends' statuses popped up on my display. None of it were any friends whose names I typically saw. Hazuki, Shindancho, Valentino, Soba Shop Slut, Human Flare, Suicide Girl, Digitaro, Agnes Digital, Idomajin, Koratoroni, Master Chieti, Dabaru Truskalev, Suitable, Mira Claudia, Gingen Ein, and Miku Miku Dogan. I know it's Nico Nico Dogan, but I don't care. The list had been bombarded with a single name posting over and over again in quick succession, bearing all other posts. That friend's name being Spider. Did I even have a friend with that handle? Well, I'd be lying if I said to myself I knew all my friends. I had over 100 of them, so it'd be stupid to make that claim. It looked like Spider had written about 15 entries in the past 30 minutes or so. When I saw the titles of the posts, I gulped. Before I knew it, my throat had gone completely dry. For one reason or another, I was struck with an immense sense of deja vu. When I read the titles, I had a feeling I knew exactly what the contents would be. With trembling fingers, I moved the mouse and clicked on one of the entries. This is. This has to be. The front of this very building. The post had contained a single image, and by the looks of it, it had been taken by a cell phone. There was no text, nor anything else in the post, just the image. There was no doubt that this photo was of the Kurenai conference hall. It seemed to have been taken at night, too. That can't be right. It was just my mind playing tricks on me. I forced a dry smile as I clicked on another post. There's no way! Despite me crying out in disbelief, even I could have predicted what was to come by reading the title. And yet the horror gave rise to countless goosebumps across my skin, each bump like a stewing bubble of sheer dread. Those noises, they'd just been hallucinations, hadn't they? The sound of the wheelchair, the sound of Shogun's laughter, the sound of cell phone shudders. Had those sounds actually been real? Had someone actually been outside my base up until a short while ago, taking pictures and uploading them with their phone? The latest post was titled The Man of the Hour. The time step read 12:14 a.m., and right now it was 12:21. The last status update had only been 7 minutes ago. Who was the man of the hour supposed to be? Who the hell could it be? I really didn't want to look, but I just couldn't bear not to. I'd never be able to calm down otherwise. I quickly snapped my gaze to the door and back. I had to make absolutely sure the lock was on correctly. And right after I did that, scared as could be, I clicked the latest status update. It was a picture of me. Just a moment ago, I had opened the door to see who was there. Thought nobody was out there, but someone had been outside.